Yo, what is up, everybody? I am Legend, and welcome to the second episode of reacting to my subscribers' songs. I'm not gonna waste any time. You guys know what it is. So let's jump right into it. So I'm starting out with London Dickson, who says, "Hey Legend, saw your video and I wanted to submit a song for my beat tape I posted on Labor Day. I started producing in January of this year. I hope you like it." Wow, in January. It's pretty dope. Just got started. Fresh. We got a new baby. Just a brief little something to say. There will be the fan going in the background because I'm not going to be up here sweating, but I hope that's fine with you guys. Beat number 4. Where did it go? By London Dawn. I like the sample. And right off the bat, I do like, it's kind of like a R&B, like 90s vibe. So I really dig the choice in Rhodes or electric piano, sorry. Okay. So first I do want to say I like the chord progressions, I like the keys, I do like the sample and the little different like voices you have in the background. I think that's really dope. I think if this beat had vocals to it, I wouldn't mind this part so much, but I was gonna say it took a little bit too long for me to get into like the kick and the snare actually, you know, taking place. But again, it's just a beat, so if it was an actual song with somebody singing, I probably wouldn't have cared about that. But it being a beat by itself, I would have put that sooner on in the song. So before it gets into this part that I was just listening to, I really love the guitars, that guitar choice. Let's see. Right there. That's super dope. The bass is a little too loud. No, it's not too loud. What's happening is the snare, the clap, is too low. I would personally turn that up. My choice in claps, because I mean this is down to personal preference. This is not like something set in stone that you have to do. Everybody has their different tastes. But when I produce, I generally like snares and claps and stuff that are really gonna like pop and crack, like kind of like Timbaland style. But I feel like the snare or the clap doesn't hit hard enough. So number one, you need to turn it up because it's too low. Number two, I probably would layer it with another clap or another snare, maybe like an 808. Like to play around with that, because right now the snare, the clap feels like it's a little bit lonely, like it's by itself and it needs something to drive the beat. I feel like it's not enough on its own right now, so I would personally layer it with another snare or clap or whatever sound to kind of make it sound more full. I think the idea of the song is really good. I would just basically work on turning that clap up and then also adding something to it to give it a little bit more life, because right now it's a little bit dry for me, and I would have preferred to have more going on with the snare. So this is London Dawn on Apple Music. I'm sure probably on Spotify as well. The SLD beat tape, go ahead, check it out if you guys want to give it a listen. And we will go to our next song here. Music submission from YouTube. This is from, I think it's Deny Dean, so we'll listen. Oh, I like where this is going already. Don't let me down. Nice. Nice cutout. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I just wanna make it. So the idea is definitely there. The sound choices are definitely there. The drum programming is definitely there. It knocks hard enough for me. It hits hard enough for me. I know. I can hear like voices all over this. Transition to the verse here with the snaps. The snaps, I can tell you, I would add another snap to this, because right now it's just like one finger. I think it sounds better when you have layered snaps. If you're gonna put snaps in a song, have layered snaps so it sounds a little bit more realistic. So there are some snaps in certain kits or whatever that actually have it to where it's like you can hear there's more than one snap. But if you don't have that particular sound in your kit, what you can do is layer another snap on top of this snap. Basically just copy and paste the one that you have, but delay it just a little bit, like drag it over just slightly to the right so it's a little bit late. And you can even do another one, do the same thing, duplicate it, and drag it slightly to the left of the one that's exactly on the beat. That way you have one that's a little bit delayed, one that's right on the beat, and one that's a little bit early, so it sounds like, you hear that? You can hear both. I feel like there's more character when you add more than one snap. So that's one critique I could say for this. The reverb's good though on the snap. I always recommend the reverb on the snaps. I love the low pass drums. I maybe would turn the snare up just a little bit on this part. Or what you can do is replace the snare with like a bongo or like a bloop, bloop, like a little one of those types of sounds, but put that low pass filter on it heavy, so it's like really like that really Drake-ish low pass feel, you know what I mean? Like that right there. That's the sound right there. So you actually have it in there. I would take out that other snare that was there and just put that one on throughout the whole thing, and maybe even turn up the low pass a little bit more so that it's a little bit more chordal, and then turn it up a little bit. That was Denaj Dean. Very dope. Thank you for submitting. Now let's go on to Buttons by Alan. So I'm just gonna say Soul Star because it sounds like, you know, maybe it's just soul music. I don't know. Waiting for the beat to drop.
Oh why?
Okay.
Oh why do you do me like this? Baby, don't lie. Don't lie, don't lie. You know you like to see me pissed, girl.
I love the bass line. I love the raw feel of the bass doing its thing by itself in the beginning. For me, maybe the delay needs to be, it was kind of throwing off the beat in the beginning before the snares came in. Like I couldn't feel where the beat was. I think it was because the delays are not exactly on. I can't tell. But it was just on a weird beat, and that's totally fine. But what I would have done is I would have taken that bass and whatever the delay is set on to turn down the wetness so it's not as prevalent as the original instrumentation is. Turn the color down so that it has a little bit more of a muted feel, and then that way when the dun it's like you can still hear the delay, you can still hear that echo, but it's not like, you get what I'm saying? So you want to make the delay happen, but in a way that's not intrusive to the rest of the beat. Like it has to sit on its own, but it also has to give room for everything else to kind of be felt. The vocals sound really good. I like the arrangement here. I like where this is going. You have a great voice. The synth, I think, is a little too strong. I think that needs to be mixed down. Maybe put a reverb on, a slight reverb on it, a spreader, maybe a chorus, so that it's not so in your face. It needs to sit in the background a little bit more.
It's like it means to cause me harm. I know I fucked up a couple times, but don't spite me 'cause I tried. She knew how to push my.
And then that boom, that just came in. I like it, but again, it's the same as the synth. I think that needs to be turned down as well. It's too. It's at this point, some of the instruments in the song are clashing. They're clashing with not only themselves, but with your vocals. So your vocals are not, they're being heard, but they're not being as heard as they should be heard and as focused on as they should be, because I feel like I'm being distracted by, I don't know what to pay attention to. Should I pay attention to the synth? Should I pay attention to the vocals? Should I pay attention to the bass line and the delay, or the, you know, the so those, both of those, the synth and the other synth that just came in, I would turn those down. CLA Vocals has a good spreader. Greg Wills has a good doubler, like a doubler. That's what I'm looking for. I like to use those when I want something to sit a little bit better, and you don't have to jack it all the way up, but it does help, in my opinion. and you know.
She know I push my buttons.
Oh yeah.
Push my buttons. She know I push my buttons.
Great vocal arrangement here. Push my button. Yeah, it's very catchy. If you wrote this, you do know how to write. You do know how to arrange. Sounds really dope. This is something I could easily see myself playing and listening to in the car and things like that. Well, if my radio works in my car.
Act like you always act right, 'cause you know you don't, but it's alright.
Okay. So a little bit of the delivery here, as I was talking about in my previous video. It doesn't just apply to rappers, it also applies to singers. We don't always want things to be so punchy and even I do this too when I'm singing. I won't say it as sharp as I need to say it. Like, it sounds a little bit lackadaisical, and sometimes that's due to our arrangements. Like, it's going into a part of our range where we're not so comfortable singing, like we have to kind of strain to get there, or if we're doing a lot of runs, we have to focus on trying to execute the run so that we hit every note, or it could be a lot of words that we're trying to say because the lyrics have so many words, but in that we can't focus on saying them very sharply or delivering the notes. So what I'm trying to say is I would have done another take on that last part, because it needs a sharper delivery, not a hard one, not something like you're trying to, prove a point or whatever, but you still want to sound sultry and smooth, but you have to do it in a way that is, you got a 3-piece suit on smooth, like not like I'm pulling up on a scene in my tropical, t-shirt. Not saying you sound like that. I'm just saying, like, that's the extreme.
The best of us, you can't be disrespectful.
That was good.
Just picture where we could be. Somewhere all the
picture where we can be. Like, things like that. Think about Michael Jackson. Like, there are some times where you want to hold out the note and sing the whole phrase, but there's sometimes where you want that staccato approach, like, and I know that's kind of a style thing, but I feel like it's more effective when you're singing certain parts of a song in lines like this. It has to have that edge to it, and right now I feel like it doesn't quite have that edge at all parts of the song. It does in some parts, but not all of them. Guys, go check it out. Check out Alan if he has anything out. Hi Legend, I saw your video about helping artists out and wanted to jump in at this opportunity, share my song. It's like a reggae. Sounds like Yep. Hey. First of all, it's really dope that I get a good mix of styles of music, so I really appreciate that, and I have a deep appreciation for people who do their styles, and it's great that we have this community of people just submitting all different kinds of stuff. Back to the song.
We want peace and love, but instead we've got hate and war.
Right off the bat, the vocals are too low. Everything sounds dry. So the guitar, right off the bat, I would add a reverb to it. With the mix turned down on the reverb, and it depends what program you're using, but the space, like basically how big the space is, turned up. So the mix is down, but the space is up so that you can still hear this big echo. And I would add a delay to this so that so that's one trick that I like to do since I don't have a guitar and I don't know how to play guitar. When I want some strumming, if I'm playing my keyboard with a guitar sample, or I'm using a sample and I want it to sound like somebody's actually, I will add a delay so that it picks up that initial, but the delay will make it seem like they're still strumming. So it's like, and it fills in that dead space. So that's my suggestion for the beat. The vocals do need to be turned up, and I would add immediately a reverb to this as well, and a delay to your vocals so that it has that reggae feel. It's got to be really free flowing with this kind of style, like a really relaxing, laid back. You know, you want people to just sway to this.
We want peace and love.
It's like we want peace and love, love, na, 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 na. Like you can hear you. I can hear it in my head, but it's got to have that feel.
Instead we got hate and love. He's poisoned the mind of the young children.
He poisoned the mind of the young children. Like reggae is a very open style of music. Like it's focused on being free. It's focused on being open. It's focused on peace and love to everybody. So you want the music and the vocals and how they sound to reflect that. So by adding that reverb and adding that delay, it's going to really give it even more of that feel, so that when people listen to it, not only will they hear what you're singing about and feel that freedom, they'll hear that freedom in how the vocals sound themselves. A lot of people initially don't even listen to the lyrics of a song. They're listening to melodies, and that's why people can hum lyrics and all stuff all the time, but they can't sing the lyrics. But if the melodies and how the song is recorded and sounded and processed or whatever, if it resonates with them and those melodies, like it's still gonna have the same effect. There can be no lyrics to a song, you just hum the whole time. Look at Kid Cudi when he does like he just hums, and people feel that because that's that style. So you need that effect. I don't know what kind of mic you're using. I would well, the mic sounds good. I think with some EQ, I would want to hear how this sounds with some good EQ, and those plugins and effects added in the mix, done really well, and mastered, because I think this could be sounding even better with this vocal. I don't know what kind of plugins you have already, but if you're using GarageBand, there's delays and reverbs in there. I would also add a compressor to bring up those vocals as well, so that you're not just jacking up the volume, but the compressor can help kind of give it a little bit of character too. My good sir, thank you for submitting. This is Tenacious Kingdom. Here's my track. It is unreleased. I'm wondering if you could please give me some advice, what I can change to do to improve my music. I'm really passionate about music, and you would understand if you listen to the lyrics in my song. Thanks. I like the beat. It's a really good bass, a really good like sub bass. Nice delay and reverb on that.
I look back in my life and I just wanna know how much it took to come, how much I'll take to go. And I don't really know, but I'm just gonna flow and say some shit you probably ain't heard before. Only 16 with a dream.
Okay.
What I mean is I wanna get on stage and hear all the.
So I see what you were trying to do. You're trying to get like a filtered intro with the vocals, and then once the beat drops, the kick comes in and things like that, you wanted to have that vocal be like all cleaned up. And this is a regular thing that people do. I think in your execution, it was too low and too filtered, and it also maybe the mic. I don't know. If you are watching this, let me know what setup you used. Well, first of all, this part is too low, so it needs to be turned up for sure. And I think you're trying to go for like a radio telephone effect, but it sounds more like a bad microphone. However you did it here, it's not quite giving that effect, because I hear that countdown, the NASA countdown. I think you're trying to go for that. There's like some patches in GarageBand, if you're using GarageBand, that actually have the telephone vocal, where you see the male basic and female voice and all that stuff. You can select actually the telephone one, and it should give you that effect that you're going for. Alternatively, you can use something like CLA Effects by Waves. It's one of their plugins that basically they have a whole bunch of presets that gives you different kinds of effects, from telephone to megaphones and underwater. I don't know, just different things, and it's just a pushing of a button that'll give you that same type of vibe. So I would recommend that.
On the way, I'll make everything lyrical with everything that I say.
I would suggest turning off the reverb. Everything I say is personal preference. With raps, I think it sounds a little weird when you have a reverb on the raps if it's not like stylistically matching the beat. It's a really close reverb, like you're in an empty room made of cement or something like that. And I don't think that suits these rap vocals the best. I think it would sound better if they were dry.
16 with a dream, what I mean is
Because it feels like I'm trapped in a room right now, and I don't want to feel like that. I want to be able to enjoy the song. The vocals feel like I'm in a room, and I'm listening to you record as opposed to listening to a song. I think he said this song is not out yet, but when it does come out, be sure to check him out. My name is, I'm gonna butcher this name. Activemano. No idea how to pronounce this, but I think I'm saying it right. So let me start by saying it's an honor to have you listen to my song more than anything else. I really feel undeserving of that energy, but really, it's really humbling to read things like that. Your channel is giving me a lot of confidence in me and my music. Thank you for being the voice of artists and writers. I really appreciate the messages, man. This is why I do what I do, and it's an honor to even hear something like the voice of producers and things. I don't know how to respond to that, but thank you. So let's listen to what you got. Come with it, man. Hey, I'm in my feelings already. See, this is an example of what I was talking about in the previous song. This is kind of like that, what I think you're going for. This is what I mean.
You're beautiful, you're beautiful. I know that you know that you know that you know that you know that you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. I know.
I love the beat. I love the beat drop. I love the programming of the beat. Whoever did the instrumental is dope. It's like you're playing along with the beat. You're going.
Yeah, I know that you know that you know that you know that you know.
I would turn the treble up a little bit, a little cut off on the high. Like there's not enough on top. There's not enough in the highs and the trebles. I would add just a little bit. I feel like it needs a more clean, less muffled sound.
You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're so.
It's gotta have that airy feel. I like the I know, like with one voice. See how it sounds if you stack that with the 4 stacks panned. And then just the I know. Once you get off to like that part, that can be like the solo part. But the I knows, I would do the stacking here and just see how it sounds. I think it would sound pretty dope.
Still I find my way on the 95.
Nice. The vocals I feel need more feeling. It's not being brought out enough. That drive behind it. It needs, like, you really got to think about a girl who's beautiful and like you singing to her like right at her front doorstep on a non-creepy level.
X was in a different time zone. We together, he can see what kind of time we on.
That section right there was good. That is what I'm talking about. And maybe you guys, I don't know if you hear what I'm hearing or notice the difference, but the execution, there's like very small changes you make or you can make that makes all the difference in how your song is listened to and perceived by your audience.
We fell in love and that's fact. Go out my brain the same for you. I can't complain.
That was good. I can't complain. That's the feeling. I felt it there. I didn't feel it in the first half. I think the second half of the verse was good. I didn't feel it in the first half. The second half is warming me up.
I know that you know that you know that you know that you.
I think you did stack this, but I can't hear it as much as I want to. So 4 stacks, 1 lead, 5 vocals. I know. And when you sing, a suggestion, sing it with a little bit of air, like I know. Because right now it's very like forward. It's you know, it's there. You're singing. I know. But I think it would give it more character and contribute to the feel of the song, and it's being smooth if he was like I know, like add a little bit of the air to your singing. Another trick that a lot of artists do, like Justin Bieber does this, Chris Brown does this, Michael Jackson I think does this, Brandy does this, when they do their stacking. So they do their lead, they do their 4, 8, or 16 vocals for one note, whatever. But they'll also, to get that airy feel, they'll record an additional 4, 8, or 16 stacks of them whispering the lyrics. So they literally just go, I know that you're beautiful. And then they'll mix that down, they'll turn it down so I have it in the background, but you still hear that surround sound of the whispering, and it sounds like it's already on top of their vocals. So that's another trick that you might want to try. Next one, sorry, my camera died, the battery died, and my other camera overheated, so that's cooling off. I had to change the battery. But last submission, I already said everything I needed to say, so thank you for submitting.